Dr. Mindy here, and on this video, we're going to solve in the most simplistic way I can your slow metabolism issue.
In this video, family, Dr. Mindy will break down exactly what she sees to be true in her practice when it comes to maximizing one's metabolism and accelerating fat loss. Before we jump back into Dr. Mindy's presentation, right here, what we have is called a lunge, static lunge with a back fly. This is a movement that you can do that really taxes the back as well as it challenges the quads in that lunge position. This is something that you want to add into your equation if you're not doing it already. Again, this is called a back fly in a static lunge position. So what you would do, you'll have that right leg out in front. On this one, you have the left leg out in front, and you'll do 10 on that left side. Then you'll switch legs and have that right leg out in the front, and you go 10 on that left side. So that is another great move that you can do. Now let's jump back in with Dr. Mindy and let's get it in.
Misinformation about metabolism and what it is and how to speed it up and how do you make sure it doesn't slow down. So I'm really wanted to create a video for you all that just put it in the most simplistic terms possible. So let's start with this idea. When we're looking at speeding up our metabolism, what we're really saying is we need to be able to use food to our metabolic advantage, and we need to use periods of no food to our metabolic advantage. We call this metabolic switching. So in your mind right now, what I'm hoping you'll do is stop thinking about speed up, slow down, and reframe that word to switching. How do I switch in and out of being a good sugar burner and a good fat burner? Because that is the key to being able to lose weight. Now, when we look at what makes a good sugar burner, there are some very specific things, and I will go through them in detail, but the way you eat will determine how quickly your blood sugar goes up and your blood sugar goes down. If you're eating the wrong foods, your blood sugar could spike and it could take hours for it to go down. And if it takes a long time for that blood sugar to come down, then your body's going to store that extra sugar as fat. So the first step to being able to fix your metabolism is fixing the sugar burner part of your metabolic system. And I'll show you how to do that in a moment.
So let me jump right in real quick with some commentary. Again, one of the things that you can do to offset that extreme sugar spike is after you eat, take your 15-minute walk. It doesn't have to be a brisk, fast walk. It's just a leisure walk. You're not trying to burn off calories. What you're trying to do is actually stimulate the body in order to bring the blood sugar out of the blood and into the muscle. And doing so by walking is a great way to do this. You don't want that brisk walk because you don't want cortisol levels to rise too high. The higher the cortisol levels, the more it prohibits the body from taking up that glucose into the muscle, and higher cortisol levels actually work against muscle, meaning the higher the cortisol levels, the lower the muscle. So you want to maintain muscle. Cortisol is catabolic when it comes to muscle. You don't want anything to be catabolic to your muscle. You want it to be anabolic. But with that being said, every exercise that we do raises cortisol to a certain extent. But when you're doing resistance training and when you're just doing the leisure walk, that cortisol level is not high, and that blood the sugar that's in the blood from the meal that you just consumed will start to dissipate. I use this on a regular basis because of my I've reversed the type 2 diabetes, but again, reverse is a strong word because anytime you have damaged your system the way that I have damaged my system, or any individual who has insulin resistance and or type 2 diabetes, the actual idea that you have reversed it is kind of not the truth, meaning you're no longer diabetic, but those blood sugar spikes and the inability of your body to handle sugar is still in play. I've seen that. So in order to mitigate that response within myself, I have to take walks right after I eat. And it seems, and it has been it has worked to my advantage to do so. It has proven to lower my blood sugar levels after I eat, and or keep them from rising super high after I eat. But she has some great advice coming in. So let's get back to what it is she has to say.
But there's more to that equation. The second part of the equation is, how do you become a really good fat burner? And here's the part that's crazy. You cannot become a good fat burner by eating food in any way, shape, or form. I know some of the healthiest people that eat so much great food that still hold on to weight. And a lot of times that's because they're only working within the sugar burner system, and they need to know how to work in the fat burner system. The fat burner system responds to two things. It responds to fasting and it responds to exercise. And the reason it responds to those two things is because fasting and exercise is when we go after the stored sugar that the body wasn't able to process. So we go after that when we fast and when we exercise. And then once you get those principles, the name of the game is, how do you switch in and out? How do I become a great sugar burner? Eat food, make my blood sugar come down quickly. And then when it comes down quickly, that signals the body to go into fat burner mode. It's literally that simple. So if we are going to take that approach, there's basically 4 basic principles to making sure that this system works for you. First principle, you got to stop the insulin stimulating foods. And these are not all obvious. The first and the worst insulin stimulating food is the bad, harmful oils. So if you want to lose weight, today is the day that you get off the canola oils, the cottonseed oils, the corn oils, the soybean, the partially hydrogenated oils. Those oils are keeping your sugar burner system very, very sluggish.
And she touches on a great point right here. And many of us don't understand how detrimental these seed oils are to our human organism. She shares something new with me when it comes to them being the number one thing when it comes to the insulin, keeping the insulin in check. So again, we must understand this, and we must go at our food and read the label and understand what it is that it has in it. And this will be the key to us being able to get our body moving in the right direction to start to burn that fat. Will allow her to continue.
And making it hard for you to get into fat burner. Second, those refined carbohydrates. So this is where you are raising your blood sugar very high by eating the cakes, the cookies, the pastas, the crackers, the breads, all of those simple carbohydrates that don't have fiber in them. They spike your blood sugar, and they can make it very difficult for your body to process that influx of sugar. And so your intelligent body sends it off into store as fat. Okay, third thing, and this one's really surprising, is all your NutraSweets, your I don't even know, do they put saccharin in stuff anymore? Saccharin and NutraSweet, all of those, what they're doing is they're keeping your sugar burner system sluggish as well. So the first step is we go and clean this up. I personally take the bad fats out, switch out of man-made carbs into nature's carbs. Those are really easy steps, and get off all the chemicals. Okay. Second thing, we learn to fast. This is my jam. And this is why I love fasting, is I can take any human body, I can teach it to fast, and it will repair. I don't know anything else, any other modality in the world that can do that, and it's free. So you're on my channel. Hopefully you're learning to fast, but start fasting, start varying your fasting lengths. And just get into that habit of compressing your eating window. So you're only eating food within a certain period of time and elongating your fast. I have a lot on this channel to teach you about that.
She's very knowledgeable about fasting, and this is one of the reasons I gravitated to her work, but her work is definitely good. But I was fasting back in the 1990s, and I didn't know the science behind the fasting, but we were fasting virtually 23 hours out of the day, every day of the week. And the last 3 days of the month, we would do a total fast for 72 hours, only drinking water and or tea. So again, fasting is essential for a optimized human organism. You must be careful and understand how your body is working so that you can do the fast safely. But fasting is highly recommended, and fasting is absolutely necessary. It's part of the natural working of our human organism. Before the food became readily available hundreds of thousands of years, we have been eaten in a way that we were fasting or were forced to fast because the abundance of food was not available. The abundance of food is available in this day and time, and this is where the problem has come in, and this is why fasting can neutralize any of those problems. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the link to this video in the comment section. You can go and finish it. Again, Dr. Mindy is a powerful, powerful individual. I highly recommend that you follow her on her channel, and I highly recommend that you get her book, Fast Like a Girl. Again, have a beautiful day. If you like the commentary, if you like the videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. And again, hit that bell for notifications so that you can always be on tap. Again, have a beautiful day. Sending you peace and always love, peace, love, and wellness.